right? If we human ingest L1, nothing will happen. It has to be L3. And the environment has to be moist, kind of, sort of, nice kind of environment for them to grow, to become L1, L2, and then L3. And they remain in L3 until ingested by a human or pig. Okay, I hope I'm making some sense. And here are the male and female inside of human intestine, and male and female copulate and release the egg in the environment, and the egg in the environment remains until another human or pig ingested, and the cycle goes on and on. As I said, this is a very common worm from beginning of the time. Mummies, imagine the mummies that they found, they excavated, they were a rich family. They didn't mummify everybody in the old days. It had to be from some kind of a class. And those people with class, they were pharaohs, they were rich, whatever. They had worms in their side of their bed. Think about it. They had worms. So still on planet Earth, I give you a chart how many people have this parasite. Common on planet Earth. I don't think in the United States it's common at all. What is this? Intestinal roundworm, Ascaris and Toxocara, right here. They're huge. You can find them in the intestine. Similar has shaped kicktail, and male. This is the male. This is the female. So on and so forth. Other members of this family are family Ascaridae. Again, I don't expect you to know this name, Ascaridae worms. It's Toxocara canis. It's just dogs. Roundworm. If you take your dog to a veterinarian and the vet says your dog has roundworm, okay, your dog does not have Ascaris and Toxocara. Your dog has Toxocara canis. You take your dog, your cat to a veterinarian, and the vet says, oh, your cat has roundworm. It's Toxocara cati. Am I making some sense? And then the wild carnivores, lions, tigers, wolves, they have Ascaris leonina. Ascaris leonina. Okay, and these guys, what happened, you guys? This is very important. You should know this. We'll always ask either essay questions or multiple choice questions about these guys, the Ascaridae family. What happens, you know, we talked about this. I should write on the board, the egg becomes juvenile 1, the egg becomes L1, same thing, depends who you talk to. You talk to me, I say L1. Okay, so the egg becomes L1, L2, L3, case of dogs. I'm talking about the dogs. You remember that? You remember we talked about this, right? The egg, imagine this would be dog or cat or wild carnivore. Are you guys with me so far? And the egg becomes L1, L2, L3. L3 stays in the environment, and we human ingest the L3 of Toxocara cati, Toxocara canis, Ascaris leonina. You all know what I'm talking about. We ingest the L3 from those animals. They go inside of human. We do not have the right enzymes. We do not have the right proteins. We are not the right host. So they migrate, and they migrate, and they migrate. They go around and around and around, and they are lost. Because we are not dog or cat or wild carnivore. So since they are lost, we suffer. We have abdominal pain. And we go to doctors. Doctors have no clue. Very hard to diagnose. I had a friend, he was a medical doctor. Yeah, I don't know, how come he told me that? He didn't know I'm a parasitologist a little bit. I know about parasites a little bit. He said, yeah, my sister is having abdominal pain. They cannot figure out what it is, and so on. Really? I told him, of course, I don't know anything about medicine. I told him, well, check her for visceral larva migrans. So what is that? I said, well, for dogs and cats, we can get the L3 from them. Accidentally, we ingest the L3 from them, and then they get lost inside of our intestine. These guys, Ascaris and Ascaris, they don't get lost. They migrate through our lungs a little bit, and they end up in the intestine, and they become adult. But those guys do not become L4, or they might become L4, but they do not become adult. If they became adult, then it was over. So they keep migrating, and that's what happens. The person feels pain, ache, and doctors do not know what it is. Maybe with some anti-helminth drugs that will kill the larva stages, but again, we don't know. It's not very clear what is made up of. Again, the status of this visceral, they call it visceral larva migrans. If you read any book or if you do anything, the status of it in medicine is not very clear. Hard to diagnose, hard to treat. What are you going to give the patient? Yes?
Would a full body scan be able to detect this?
No, they are not. As I said, it's not easy to diagnose. There are some antibody serum, ELISA, you're familiar with those tests available.
Are you right?
Very hard. Yes.
Are you right?
Oh, I didn't die on that one. Those are personal things. But he said yes, he'll look into it. My friend said yes, he will look into it. He said thank you so much, he will look into it. But I didn't go and ask. I don't see him often. But next time I see, maybe I should ask him. I don't see him anymore. I move. Yes, somebody else. Yes, ma'am.
How do they know where to go?
What now?
How do you're talking about how they're the right or wrong homes, but how do they know oh, I'm gonna go to this body?
No, we accidentally ingest the L3. You know what I'm saying?
After they ingest them, how do
We human ingest them. We're talking. It happens. Visceral larva migrants. It happens in human, but in dogs and cats, nothing. They become adult. Dogs and cat, they become adult. Male and female, and they copulate, they release, and another dog comes and eats the poop of the dog, and this continues on in dogs and cats. Am I making some sense a little bit? But in human, see, the nature of this parasite, I didn't talk about it too much. The nature of this parasite, when you ingest L3 in case of human, they migrate a little bit. They go from because we ingest it, they go from our digestive tract to our respiratory tract to get some oxygen to become L4, and then they come back to digestive tract to become adult. So they migrate inside of our body a little bit, not unlike other parasites which I will talk like hookworms. They migrate a lot. But anyhow, in case of dogs and cats, same thing. They go to the lungs of dogs and cats, and they come back to the intestine to become adult. So when we human ingest the L3 of dogs and cats, right? Then they go to the lungs and they want to come back to the intestine. We are the wrong host for them. So they do not see the right enzymes, they do not see the right protein molecules. We are not the right host, just like, I'll give you an example. Echinococcus granulosus, you remember that? Echinococcus granulosus, we are not dog. So they say, this is not the right enzymes. They do not become adult. They become white ads. Same concept here. I hope I'm answering your question. So we do not have the right machinery, if you would, for lack of better terms, for them to recognize. Of course, they recognize we are not dog, cat, we are human. We do not have the right machinery, so they recognize that. And they do not become adult. They do not become, and they keep migrating inside of our visceral. This is our visceral system. Right? Am I? Yes? Yes. So they cause visceral. Here it is for dogs and cats, and right here they can be transmitted to human by accident. Baylisascaris, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I guess that's what CDC is putting out. They call it visceral larva migrans. So it happens in dogs. In dogs, it's a direct life cycle. So, but in us, it ends up into. Here are the 3 lips that I was talking about, right here. So 1, 2, 3 lips. Here are the female, here are the male, and here is the egg. Okay, so again, I'm referring to this. I know this is Toxocara cati because they have nice alley here. They call this alley. The Ascaris Nematodes do not have this linear. This is the cat. Ascaris, the cat roundworm. In severe, I don't know, this is Hollywood made or this is true. When a person has a lot of them, it is possible they get out of anus or they come out of the nose, mouth. It is possible when the infection is a lot. The person has a lot. The other one that is gaining a lot of attention in the United States right now, in California, if you would, is Baylisascaris for science. Okay, so Baylisascaris is a raccoon roundworms, and I'm seeing more. I don't know about you guys. I'm seeing more and more raccoon than I ever seen before. We are invading the space. They're coming to the cities, and people think, oh, they're cute. They don't bother. You don't shoot them. Shoot. You're supposed to shoot them. Do not defecate in your yard and in places that I will go over that. And what happens, again, they do cause, but what happens for dogs and cats, you take them regularly, if you have a pet, to a veterinarian, and they give them dewormer. So they make sure they do not have those worms. Toxocara cati, Toxocara canis. I hope I'm making some sense. But raccoons, go to veterinarian in your backyard. I don't know how many of you catch a raccoon and you think, "Bet, can you check if he has Baylisascaris?" So that's why it's gaining a lot more attention, because a lot of cases of over 120 species of birds and mammals have been killed. Also, humans have been infected. Raccoons show no signs of infection, of course, just like the other roundworms. But the roundworms completes its life cycle. So raccoon females by millions of eggs that are shed through the feces causes visceral ocular. They go to the eye. This one can go to the eye. Visceral, eye, and neural larva migrants, not in raccoons. Okay, that is in us. That is in human. Okay, so it's gaining a lot of attention now. So you have raccoon in your backyard, picture of them, clean their feces if you can. If you see some unknown feces in your backyard, clean it up, because it will disperse, and little kids, most likely kids, come across Baylisascaris or C. Yes?
And this is the part of the same family?
Same family. Baylisascaris. It's an Ascaroides. It's an Ascaroides. Okay, here it is. So life cycle happens in the wild, but we human come across it. Houston, we got really problem. Diseases to 2000, there have been 16 documented cases in infection, 6 result in death. Victims who survive suffer from severe neurological disorders and permanently blind, hard to diagnose. Many cases are misdiagnosed, treated with anti-helminth drugs if they success, and does not effectively treat the migrant rot. It does not. Here they are, prevention. They're saying these are all feces in the attics of the houses. Raccoons can get to the attics, if you didn't know. Avoid contacts with raccoons. Do not feed them. Wash hands thoroughly after gardening. Keep trash containers tightly closed. Yes, they like trash. Keep sandboxes covered. If you have kid sandboxes, And then most chemicals do not kill them, kill the eggs. Of course, they're hardy. Remember that they stay in the environment and they're hardy. Extreme heat does kill the eggs. So, okay, next one. I'm done with ascaroids. Next one is the hookworms. Necator americanus and Celostoma duodenale. Those are the two parasites we refer to as hookworms. They're called hookworms, not because they have a hook at the end, just like these guys. Don't confuse them. Don't confuse these guys with this. Okay, and you will see why they call them hookworms. They cling on to the intestine and they suck blood. They cause anemia. Mouth part have teeth or cutting plates. They have these teeth or cutting plates in order to cut the intestine of human or the host, whoever the host is. They cut the intestine and they suck blood. They do not drink the blood. What happens, they use the oxygen of the blood.
You said they don't suck blood?
They don't suck the blood, yes, they don't suck the blood with, as you see a picture, here in a minute. I'll show it with you. As the blood is scourging out of our intestine, what happens, they use that oxygen that is coming out of our blood, which I will show you a picture. They're voracious bloodsuckers, okay? And then you see in the feces of the host, you see eggs and some blood. Southern states of the United States common. It was, I should say, still some cases happens in southern states of the United States because of the climate. It's warmer. As a result, this parasite can thrive, grow, and there is a, southern states always claim things. I'm being recorded. Might be somebody shooting me because of the statements I'm making here. They lost the Civil War because they were infected, people in South, during Civil War. They were infected with these parasites because what this parasite causes is sucks blood, as I show you, I'll talk about it, and the people feel sluggish, they feel tired, they're anemic, and that was one of the reasons they lost the war. Okay, they talk about that. There are some books, some you can read it. How true that is, I don't know. And Celostoma caninum is the dog hookworm, caninum, right? And Celostoma caninum, and cause cutaneous larva migrans. And what that is, I'll show you a picture here in a minute. So the egg in the environment, the dog poop, and the eggs in the environment become L1, L1 becomes L2, L3, and now they are waiting for a dog to penetrate their skin. Now this is the parasite that penetrates by penetration through the skin. It's not by ingestion. When we human get it, it means we go to a nice pond or river somewhere, and the L3 penetrate our skin, and from there they migrate, they go into the small intestine, and in the small intestine they become L4 adult and suck blood. So what happens if we come across dog hookworm, L3 of dog? Am I making some sense so far? So what happens, since they penetrate our skin and say, this is not the right machinery, I say enzymes and protein molecules, they keep migrating under your skin. And I'll show you some pictures. They keep migrating. That's what they call it, cutaneous larva migrans. They keep migrating on the skin, like after 24 hours, our immune system zap, right? With a shot of antibodies. You remember that. We talked about it. Antibodies, kill it. Go away. If you don't like it, you can put 1% hydrocortisone, because you see it in your arm, something is moving, but they don't move very fast, first of all. But you see it was 1 hour ago, it was here, now it's here, now it's here. So you don't like it, Amir told us it's cutaneous larva migrans, just put 1% hydrocortisone, you kill them, done. End of story. Okay. They should put the camera on your faces. Faces. That's cool. We should have, I should bring another camera. Your faces. Okay. Here it is. So, cutaneous larva migrans. As I said, well, no, this is the actual organism. There is no dog here. So, the egg is released by human to a body of water, and then in the water becomes L3. Remember that? L3 get out of the egg. Remember that? I talked about it. I said not all of them remain in the egg. Here is one, hookworm. The L3 gets out of the egg, swimming in the water, and as soon as see human foot or hand, skin, whatever it is, penetrate into human skin, and then they migrate, and they go eventually end up, they migrate inside of our body, and then eventually they end up in the small intestine, male and female copulate, voila.
The larva form is L3?
The one now?
Which one is L3? The rhabdiform or the
Rhabdiform larva, yes, that's what they call it. Filiform larva, the L3, sorry. Rhabdiform larva is the L2. So L3, do not worry about these terms. Filiform, if you were taking parasitology, yes, I would hold you responsible for the rhabdiform larva and filiform larva, but do not worry about it. It's not in your textbook, so I just got these from CDC. But anyhow, but the filiform larva penetrates skin, and then eventually they go on the L4 and adult inside of us, and then some of these eggs. You remember one egg become female, one egg become male. Remember that? You're back to the normal case. You're not one egg becomes thousands of larvae. Yes.
Oh, never mind.
Okay. So and then inside of our intestine they suck blood, and I'll show you some pictures and so on and so forth. Here it is. That's what I was. These are the plates, cutting plates or teeth. And here it is. This is our small intestine. And here they are sucking blood. See how a lot of the blood goes here. But what happens to the blood here, they can absorb the oxygen from those red blood cells. So you see in the feces of the person who has the hookworms, you will see some blood. Dead blood, the purple blood, it does not have to be all this fresh blood. And that's what pretty much it is. And that's what they call them hookworm. They attach, they cling on to our intestine, and they're sucking blood, if you will. And then of course, one of the signs and symptoms, the person is anemic. I hope I'm making some sense. Okay, you learned one other type of anemic here before, and that was with diphlorobottom-latum, B12. You remember pernicious anemia, megaloblasts. Here is the second type of anemia we learned. Here is a male, this is copulatory bursa of the male, and what they're showing you by an arrow here, that's a spicule. This is a long spicule. In the lab, some of the slides you look at, you might see spicules extended here. On this slide, the spicules got folded when there, and they keep showing it right here. So that's the one that opens up the vagina, and then the penis releases the sperm from male. So this is male. If you see this in the lab on the microscope, this is a male hookworm. Male hookworm. Here is a cutting plate or teeth right here, and of course this is the anterior portion of the animal. This is the mouth, cutting plate, teeth, and of course this is here's a cutaneous lower migrans on the feet of that person. Right here, it's migrating, going. But no, it doesn't bother. It's just if it is a nuisance, just put one person on your person. If not, your immune system will get rid of it in 24 hours or so. No big deal. It will not go anywhere else. Here it is. I'm showing you guys the cutaneous larva migrans. Is that right? The life cycle of hookworms. No, the life cycle of hookworm is not cutaneous. Life cycle of hookworm, of course, based on your textbook. This is what is in your textbook. Trichinella spiralis. Let's do that on Tuesday. Today is what? Thursday? Let's do it. We have extra credits today, so from 5 to 6 in the lab, and then the quiz will stop right here. the slides for the lab portion, look at all of the slides up to here. The slides, you have cross-section of the hook, cross-section of the roundworm. You have hookworm slides. I already have them all. That's all I got. This model and cross-section of the roundworm and the hookworm.